All right. Path of Exile 2 fans, December 6th is almost here. Uh, Early access drops. And, for those of you like me who are planning on smashing faces as a warrior.
Well, we're going to need to pick the right support gems.
Exactly. We're diving into that today, the
Yeah.
most crucial part of your build.
Yeah, you absolutely need to get this right, especially out of the gate.
For sure.
You're going to be competing with all those other early access players.
Yeah.
To theory craft the best builds and support gems, well, they're the secret sauce.
So no pressure, right?
No pressure.
We've got a stack of sources here, everything from the initial game reveals to that juicy support gem list that dropped recently.
It's a lot to take in.
It is, and that's what I'm hoping, is that you can help me kind of sift through all of this.
Of course.
And we can come up with a killer support gem set up specifically for a warrior.
Consider it done.
Right.
What's really interesting is that we're working with a limited pool of support gems right now,
Yeah.
So it's a challenge to pick the best of the best.
Okay, so before we get into specifics, let's do a quick Warrior 101 for anyone who needs a refresher.
Right.
We're talking slow, heavy-hitting melee.
Absolutely.
Loves a good mace, maybe a shield for some extra defense, and all about those slam skills and war cries.
Exactly. Now, keep in mind that the passive skill tree in Path of Exile 2,
Okay.
it's shared across all the classes.
Right.
But warriors, they start in a specific area, geared towards their playstyle.
I see.
That's really important to remember because it influences which support gems will actually synergize well with your build.
So it's not just about the gems themselves. It's about how they work with those passive skills that you're picking up along the way.
Exactly.
Got it. So let's get down to business. Hit me with those must-have support gems for a warrior starting in early access.
Okay, so let's start with the foundation of any good warrior build.
Right.
Damage.
Okay.
There are two gems that immediately stand out as absolute essentials.
Yeah.
Brutality and melee physical damage.
These are the bread and butter, right? I see them recommended everywhere for melee builds.
Yeah, and for good reason. Brutality is king when it comes to just raw physical damage.
Okay.
It boosts your damage output significantly, but it trades away any other damage types you might have.
I see.
Since warriors are all about smashing things with physical force,
Right.
That's a trade we're happy to make.
Yeah, no point in investing in elemental damage if you're rocking a giant mace, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so brutality is in. What about melee physical damage?
This one's a bit more nuanced.
Okay.
It also boosts your melee physical damage, but at the cost of some attack speed. Now, this is where understanding the warrior archetype comes in.
Okay.
Warriors are already on the slower side when it comes to attack speed.
Right.
They make up for it with those massive hits.
So sacrificing a little bit of speed for even more damage actually plays into the warrior's strengths.
Exactly. You're already not built for rapid attacks.
Right.
You want to hit hard.
Yeah.
And this gem helps you do that.
Okay. I'm starting to see how these gem choices really do require you to think about the overall build strategy.
Absolutely. Now, another gem that fits perfectly with the warrior playstyle, particularly in those early levels, is Pulverize.
Right.
It increases the area of effect and damage of your melee attacks, which is perfect for those slam skills that warriors love to use.
Oh, yeah. I can already imagine clearing out entire packs of mobs with a single well-placed slam. So satisfying.
Doesn't it feel good?
It does mention a slight attack speed reduction.
Right.
But again, not a huge deal for a warrior.
Not at all. Now, here's a gem that often gets overlooked.
Okay.
Especially by newer players. But it can make a huge difference.
Right.
Especially in early access where your gear and stats aren't fully maxed out.
Gotcha.
Additional accuracy.
Accuracy. Isn't that kind of boring? I want to focus on damage.
I get it, but trust me on this one. You can have all the damage in the world.
Okay.
But if you're not actually hitting your enemies, it doesn't matter. Especially early on when your character's accuracy might be a bit low.
Yeah.
This gem ensures that those powerful blows that you're landing with brutality and melee physical damage actually connect.
So it's less about boosting damage and more about making sure the damage you do have is actually effective.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense, especially in the early game.
Precisely. You want to be efficient, not wasteful.
Okay, so we've got our damage essentials covered. Brutality, melee, physical damage, and pulverize.
Yeah.
And, of course, additional accuracy to make sure we're not swinging at ghosts.
Right.
But I'm guessing there's more to it than just stacking damage multipliers.
Oh, absolutely. This is where things get really interesting, strategically speaking. We need to think about, how these gems interact with each other and with the warrior's unique mechanics.
Okay.
For example, have you ever heard of the dreaded stun lock in Path of Exile?
Yeah, nothing worse than being frozen in place while a pack of monsters wails on you. Worst happens way too often when you're a melee class.
Exactly, which is why I'm adding Unbreakable to our list of must-have support gems.
Yeah.
This gem grants increased stun resistance, which is incredibly valuable for any melee character, especially a warrior who's often right in the thick of the action.
Yeah, makes sense.
No.
Anything that helps me stay on my feet and swinging is a win in my book.
For sure.
So we're talking damage accuracy and now survivability.
Right.
What else should we be considering?
Well, let's talk about maximizing those big hits we're setting ourselves up for with those damage multipliers.
Okay.
Remember how we were talking about how warriors excel at breaking enemy armor?
Yeah, I'm picturing those satisfying slams just shattering defenses.
Exactly, and that's where exploit weakness comes in.
Right.
This gem is all about rewarding you for doing what warriors do best, breaking armor.
Okay.
It gives you this huge damage spike when you completely break an enemy's armor.
So it's like a bonus reward for playing to the warrior's strengths. I love it.
I knew you would, and it gets even better
Yeah.
when you pair it with another gem on our list.
Okay, now you got my attention. Tell me more about this combo.
Break posture.
Break posture.
It adds a chance to daze enemies when their armor is fully broken.
Okay.
So imagine this scenario. You slam into a group of enemies, shattering their armor, triggering exploit weakness for that sweet bonus damage.
Okay.
Then with break posture, your follow-up attacks have a chance to daze them, leaving them wide open for even more punishment.
Oh, man, that's a nasty combo.
Yeah.
It's like crowd control and burst damage all rolled into one.
Precisely. And remember, all of this is happening while you're benefiting from those core damage multipliers we talked about earlier.
Right.
Brutality and melee physical damage.
Yeah.
You're hitting hard.
Yeah.
You're breaking defenses. You're
Yeah.
controlling the battlefield, all while mitigating stuns with Unbreakable.
Okay. I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. These gems aren't just isolated boosts. They're working together to create a really synergistic and powerful build.
Exactly. And that's what makes theory crafting in Path of Exile so much fun. It's like solving a puzzle, finding that perfect combination of gems and skills that all work together.
I love it.
But we're not done yet.
Oh, there's more. Don't tell me we're adding even more damage to the mix.
Not exactly. We need to talk about sustain.
Okay.
Warriors, as tough as they are still melee characters.
Right.
Which means they're going to be taking hits.
Yeah. Can't exactly stand back and fling spells from a safe distance, can we?
Nope, you're right in the fray, so you need a way to stay alive amidst all the chaos.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's where Life Leech comes in.
The classic life steal mechanic.
Exactly. This gem allows you to recover life based on the physical damage you deal. The more you hit, the more you heal.
Right.
It's a tried and true method for melee characters to sustain themselves in combat.
Yeah.
And it works beautifully with the warrior's high physical damage output.
So we're turning offense into defense, essentially. I like it.
It's all about finding that balance. Now, there are a couple of other gems on the list that might seem tempting. But I think for a starting warrior build in early access, we've got a solid foundation with these 6. Brutality, melee, physical damage, pulverize, additional accuracy, unbreakable, and life leech.
That's a lot to work with already.
Yeah.
But I'm sensing there might be a but coming.
Well, there are always those wildcard options, those gems that might not seem like obvious choices, but could lead to some really interesting and unique builds.
Ooh. You know, I love a good wild card.
Let's hear it.
What kind of unconventional gems are we talking about?
Yeah.
All right, so we've got our solid foundation of 6 support gems for our early access warrior brutality, melee physical damage, and pulverize for that satisfying armor crushing damage. Additional accuracy to make sure we're actually connecting with those hits, and unbreakable and life leech to keep us alive in the heat of battle. But now I'm dying to hear about those wildcards you mentioned.
Yep.
What kind of unconventional gems are we talking about?
Well, there's one that might seem completely out of left field for a warrior build.
Okay.
Added cold damage.
Wait, hold on, cold damage. But we've been talking about pure physical brutality this whole time. Why would we even consider adding an element to the mix?
That's what makes it a wild card.
Okay.
Most people would dismiss it immediately, but remember the passive skill tree in Path of Exile 2? It's shared across all classes.
Right.
There might be some interesting cold damage synergies on the tree that we could tap into, potentially creating a hybrid build that catches other players off guard.
So instead of just focusing on maximizing physical damage, we could potentially branch out and create a build that utilizes both physical and cold damage. That's pretty intriguing, especially if it's not something other players are expecting.
Exactly. It's all about experimentation and finding those unexpected synergies. Now, the other wild card I wanted to mention is Fist of War.
Ooh, that one sounds a bit more in line with the warrior's playstyle. What does it do?
It empowers your slam attacks
Okay.
by granting something called an ancestral boost every few seconds.
And
Now, the specifics of how this boost works are still a bit unclear, but it seems like it could add a significant amount of damage to those already powerful slams.
so it's like we're doubling down on the slam build. More slams, more damage, more face smashing.
Precisely. And remember, warriors have access to some unique slam skills that might synergize incredibly well with Fist of War. We're talking about the potential for some truly earth-shattering blows.
Okay, I am sold. I need to try this out. So to recap, we've got our 6 core support gems for a solid, well-rounded warrior build, and then we've got added cold damage and Fist of War as our wild cards, opening up some possibilities for more experimental and potentially very powerful builds. That's a lot to digest.
And remember, this is all based on the information we have available right now.
Right.
As we get closer to launch and beyond, there will be even more support gems revealed, adding even more layers to the already intricate world of Path of Exile 2 build crafting.
It's almost overwhelming, but in the best way possible. There's so much potential for creativity and experimentation.
Exactly. And that's what makes Path of Exile 2 so compelling. It's a game that rewards you for thinking outside the box, for finding those hidden synergies, and for constantly refining and perfecting your build.
So to all our warrior brethren out there gearing up for early access, take this information, experiment, explore, and most importantly, have fun. Who knows, maybe one of you will discover the next meta-defining build.
Indeed. And be sure to share your discoveries with the community. The collective knowledge and shared passion of the Path of Exile community is one of the things that makes this game so special.
Absolutely. Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into the best support gems for warriors in Path of Exile 2 Early Access. I don't know about you, but I'm even more hyped for December 6th now.
Me too. I can't wait to see what kind of devastating builds players come up with.
Until next time, may your slams be mighty, your loot drops legendary, and your journey through Rayclast filled with epic adventures. This has been The Deep Dive signing off.